I saw a whole bunch of people running in through the store, shouting, there was a shooter, there was a shooter.
Terror and chaos inside Columbia Mall. A shooter opens fire inside a store as customers scramble to take cover.
Seeing the terror of people's in their eyes when they run, like just screaming, like, you know, run for your lives, people are shooting.
When it was all over, 3 people were dead. Now, police try to figure out what led to the violence that will haunt a community for some time.
This shouldn't happen in, Columbia Mall. It shouldn't happen anywhere.
And tonight we have some breaking developments in that shooting that took place around 11 o'clock this morning at the mall. Police say they've disabled what they call crude attempts at explosive devices found in the gunman's bag at the mall. 2 store employees were killed in this morning's shooting at the mall. They've been identified as 25-year-old Tyler Johnson of Ellicott City and 21-year-old Brianna Benlolo of College Park. Both victims were killed at the skate shop known as Zoomies, which is on the upper level of the mall. Howard County Police have not identified the gunman who was found dead near a shotgun as well as ammunition. 5 other people suffered injuries, including 1 victim with a gunshot wound to the foot. They've all been treated and released from the hospital. The mall has been cleared and closed as detectives work to piece together exactly what happened. Our team coverage begins tonight with Richard Reeves live outside the mall. Richard.
Candace, this is still a very active investigation. We're now being told by sources that police at this hour are executing a search warrant at the gunman's house in Prince George's County. You mentioned the police chief. He talked about concern about possible explosives or weapons inside the mall. That is why this mall is completely sealed off, closed down tonight, this after a day of carnage. The entire Columbia Mall is now a crime scene.
It was so close, you knew that there was gunshots.
The gunfire at 11:15 Saturday morning left 23-year-old Brianna Benlolo and 25-year-old Tyler Johnson dead. Both were employees at Zoomies, a skateboard shop on the 2nd floor.
Then I heard somebody say, "Shots fired, get down."
Her knees still shaking. Salon employee Lauren Stapleton says she tried to alert her coworkers.
I heard more than 10 shots. By the time that I ran from downstairs to my job upstairs, he was still shooting.
Meanwhile, an army of heavily armed police and SWAT officers responded in minutes to a call of shots fired as terrified people were running out.
When I saw just this mass of people running and screaming, there's a shooter, and oh my God.
Officers would find the 2 deceased victims and the shooter also dead by his own hand from a shotgun blast.
He was obviously deceased, but he was also still had a large amount of ammunition still on and about him.
A chaotic, horrifying scene. Many sheltering in place for more than an hour, waiting and hoping that they were safe.
We locked everyone in the back room, got in the back room and stayed there put and just locked the doors until the SWAT team came.
A terrifying day. This kind of gun violence doesn't happen here, someone said, but today it did.
Oh my God, I just never witnessed anything like this in my life. I never thought I would see anything like this. It's the scariest feeling in the world.
Now, police sources saying that the gunman first killed Benlolo, then Johnson before killing himself. As we said, authorities have been searching in the mall here. Howard County Police not talking about a motive yet, but we know that investigators found the gunman's car inside the parking lot. They again are not naming the shooter, although we are told they have tentatively identified him, but they are not naming him at this point. We understand also they're looking through surveillance video at this hour for more information in this case. Live from Columbia, Richard Reeves, ABC 7.
And once again, the headline there, they're executing a search warrant at the shooter's home in Prince George's County. Thank you, Rich. Should point out the CEO of Zoomies released a statement earlier tonight saying the company was deeply saddened by the violence within its store and that counseling will be made available to other employees in the area. Robert Lyles is in Columbia with more on the 2 young lives taken within matters of seconds. Robert.
Well, Candace, one employee was Brianna Benlolo. She lived in College Park, and sadly, we learned tonight she was a young mother. Her roommate tells me that normally she works the closing shift but came in early today. Her coworker, Tyler Johnson, lives close by in Ellicott City. He'd recently taken a job at the skateboard store, and sources go on to tell us that that shooter crept into the back of that store. 21-year-old Brianna Benlolo's roommate says he's so stunned over her murder he couldn't bear to speak on camera. But the College Park man confirms she was the assistant manager at Zoomies, an employee since 2012, and lived for the job, he says. In fact, Benlolo's Instagram page is filled with her two loves, says the roommate, the Columbia Town Center store and her 2-year-old son. This picture of him was taken just 3 weeks ago. Benlolo's roommate says he spoke with her this morning and she was excited as always. Sources now say the shooter entered the back door of the Zoomies store and shot 25-year-old Tyler Johnson first. The Ellicott City resident had just taken a job at the store, reportedly 2 months ago. Shocked friends raced to his Facebook page, posting condolences and rest in peace. Sources inside the mall go on to say the shooter then shot Benlolo, a native of Cocoa Beach, Florida, then walked downstairs and turned the gun on himself. But it's Benlolo's Instagram post that's both poetic and perhaps foreboding. She wrote, "Forgive the past, love like you've never been hurt, live every day for today." Now, at this hour, it is unclear who has custody of Benlolo's son. We are told that she has relatives in the Mount Airy area. At this time, also, we have yet to locate the father of the son. But Howard County Police tell us, despite previous reports that this was a domestic violence incident, they are saying that a motive for this shooting is still under investigation. Live in Columbia, I'm Robert Lyles, ABC 7 News.